smiling through their pain on Sundays, pretending their blessings were just around the corner. They were trapped in a cage of faith he had built, and he held the only key. Their devotion had become their prison. Hope, however, is a stubborn seed. It can lie dormant for a long time, buried under layers of fear and manipulation, but it never truly dies. It began with a whisper, a question asked not in the church hall, but in the quiet of a kitchen between two sisters. "Is this right?" one asked, looking at the meager portion of soup she was saving for her children. That small question was a crack in the dam. It was the first drop of rain that signaled the coming storm. The question spread, quietly at first, a shared glance between two market women, a hesitant conversation between husbands after the children were asleep. The truth, when it is ready, has a way of coming to light. It does not always arrive with a loud bang, but sometimes with the quiet courage of one person deciding they have had enough. It was Mama Chica, the widow who had given her rent money, who finally broke the silence. When the eviction notice was nailed to her door, something inside her snapped. The next Sunday, she did not go to the altar with an offering. She stood in the aisle, her voice trembling but clear, and she asked the pastor in front of everyone why God had given her an eviction notice instead of the house he had promised. The silence in the church was different this time. It was not fear, it was a collective holding of breath. That single act of courage gave others permission to find their own voices. One by one others stood, not with anger but with the painful weight of their own stories. They spoke of the cars sold, the lands given away, the children who went to bed hungry. The pastor's powerful voice seemed to shrink, his charisma fading under the bright, honest light of their shared truth. He had no answers for them, only blustering threats about God's wrath. But his words were hollow now. They had lost their power. The people were no longer looking at him. They were looking at each other, seeing their own pain reflected in their neighbors' eyes. In the end, the most important lesson was not about the wickedness of one man, but about the power that lies within each of us. It is the power to think, to question, and to protect our own well-being. True faith should not demand that we abandon our reason. It should not ask us to impoverish our families or silence the voice of our own conscience. The people of the town learned that their connection to the divine did not need a gatekeeper. They learned to lean on each other, to rebuild their community on a foundation of mutual respect and shared wisdom, not blind obedience. They had taken back their lives, and in doing so, they had found a faith that was truly their own.